Death is the great equalizer. No matter where we live, no matter our beliefs, wealth, or language, we all meet the same fate. And when we do, nature takes over. Tissues break down, organisms feed, and slowly we return to the earth. But what happens when nature can't fulfill this cycle? What happens when death comes, but decay does not? There's a remote town where corpses lie intact for decades, their features preserved as if they died yesterday. Where the earth refuses to let the dead rot. Where death is not the end, but a quiet, frozen pause. This is Longyearbyen, a town in the Arctic where the ground never thaws, and because of that, corpses don't decompose. Welcome to Longyearbyen. Nestled deep in the Arctic Circle, Longyearbyen is the largest settlement on the island of Spitsbergen, which belongs to the Svalbard archipelago, governed by Norway. Positioned at a staggering 78 degrees north latitude, Longyearbyen is one of the northernmost permanently inhabited places on Earth. Here, life is different. The sun disappears completely from November to February, blanketing the town in polar night. In contrast, from April to August it never sets, casting an eerie glow for weeks on end. Temperatures frequently dip below -30 degrees Celsius, and the average annual temperature hovers around -6 degrees. And beneath the snow and gravel lies something even colder and more enduring: permafrost. This thick, frozen layer of soil remains below freezing for years, even centuries, and it's this layer that holds the key to Longyearbyen's mystery. In most towns, cemeteries are sacred spaces for mourning and remembrance. But in Longyearbyen, the cemetery tells a more chilling tale. In 1918, the Spanish flu pandemic swept across the globe, killing tens of millions. Even in this remote Arctic town, it claimed several lives. Those victims were buried as usual in the town's small cemetery. But decades later, as scientists exhumed the bodies to study the flu virus, they were shocked. The corpses were almost perfectly preserved. Not just bones and hair, but soft tissue, internal organs, even the virus itself were still intact. The intense cold had essentially cryopreserved the bodies, and with them, the deadly virus. Fearing future outbreaks, the town decided on a radical policy. No one can be buried here anymore. If you die in Longyearbyen, your body must be flown to mainland Norway. It's not just a matter of tradition, it's a matter of public safety. To understand why decomposition halts here, we must understand what decay requires: warmth, moisture, and microbial life. In most parts of the world, bacteria and fungi break down organic matter. Insects like maggots accelerate the process. Within weeks, a body can transform drastically. But in Longyearbyen, these forces are nearly absent. The soil is frozen solid all year round. It's dry, sterile, and inhospitable to microbial activity. No bacteria, no fungi, no insects. This condition, known as cryopreservation, is similar to how we freeze food to prevent spoilage. Bodies buried here are naturally mummified by the cold. Even the scent of decay is absent. Some corpses retain the faint smells of perfume, smoke, or fabric. Longyearbyen is one of the few places on Earth where death enters a kind of biological stasis. In Longyearbyen, even the processes of living and dying are unusual. Because burial is banned, anyone nearing the end of their life is often transported off the island. There are no nursing homes, no elderly care facilities. Expecting mothers must also leave before their due date. The local hospital lacks the capacity to manage childbirth or serious medical emergencies. This means that Longyearbyen is one of the few places in the world where you cannot be born, and you cannot die. The rules may seem harsh, but they stem from necessity. Infrastructure built on permafrost is fragile. The thawing of even a few degrees can disrupt buildings, roads, and yes, burial plots. A decomposing body in thawing permafrost could become a biohazard. Global warming poses a new and unexpected danger: thawing permafrost. In the last few decades, temperatures in the Arctic have risen faster than anywhere else. As the ground softens, it exposes what had long been sealed beneath ancient viruses, preserved corpses, and even extinct animals. In Siberia, melting permafrost revived anthrax spores from a long-dead reindeer, causing a deadly outbreak in 2016. Scientists now fear that bodies buried during older pandemics could release long-dormant pathogens. Could a flu victim buried in Longyearbyen in 1918 spark a future outbreak? Researchers are racing to monitor permafrost and develop containment protocols. But time is ticking, and the ground is shifting. Yet life goes on. Longyearbyen is not a ghost town, it's a thriving, tight-knit community. Locals enjoy skiing, sledding, and northern lights that illuminate the skies like fireworks. Children grow up learning to carry rifles outside town limits, in case of polar bear encounters. Residents share stories of living in constant darkness or sunlight, and how they adapt. But beneath all this joy and resilience is the knowledge that the earth beneath their feet holds more than frozen soil. It holds history, disease, and silence. A silence that refuses to rot. In Longyearbyen, death doesn't fade. It lingers. It waits. Frozen. Longyearbyen is a place of paradoxes, full of life, but where death must leave. A town where modern living collides with ancient cold, where the earth, for all its silence, tells a story louder than words. A story that reminds us, death is not the end, and in some places, even time itself must wait. If you found this video fascinating, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more haunting explorations, and let us know in the comments what hidden corners of the world you want to see next. Until next time, stay curious, and stay warm.